set.
Get down, everybody.
This has been a wonderful year for games, which could even be a bad thing, as I've been very busy with some games, unable to get around to others. In my Game of the Year nominations, I have only the games I have completed, so unfortunately popular games like Skyrim, Battlefield 3 and Skyward Sword are absent. I am only human, and I haven't completed every game released this year, so I'm afraid not everyone's favourite games will be on my completed list or my nominations. Without further ado, let's get into my top games of 2011.
They're gonna find us. It's just a matter of time. Gotta keep moving.
General, the Higgs are knocking at our door.
Though Killzone 3 felt more like an expansion to the first game, the multiplayer has plenty of depth and very smooth mechanics, with balance issues only being minor. The story felt uninspired at times, but the gameplay was extremely satisfying and fun, and I felt the pacing between gunfights was flawless, which is really what the game was about. The action. It was extremely realistic, immersive and thrilling. The ending felt far too stretched out for me, but one of the final levels was amazing. The game was fun and exciting, just not as well executed as its predecessor.
You don't know pride. You don't know fear. You don't know anything. You'll be perfect.
Portal 2 is a game that knows exactly what it's doing, and that it's doing it differently. Here we have an inspiring game that offers challenging yet fun puzzles along with great writing and an original story, and will most likely stand the test of time. It's difficult to pick out flaws with Portal 2, as there isn't really anything else to compare it to aside from the original game, which this definitely lives up to. It's funny, intelligent, fun, and a neatly polished package overall.
Phelps, Earl, a shooting at the 111 Club.
Half a dozen shooters, sir. Real professionals.
I'm only going to warn you once, gentlemen. Stay out of this.
LA Noire started off very promising, but after the midway mark, the story felt a little dragged out and uninspired, though the authenticity and atmosphere of the world is beautiful. It was along with a lot of variety in the missions, and there were a lot of crafty elements we hardly see in games. It was fun and had some really good writing, complementing a sad and mature but terrific story direction.
Together, we can save these people. Together, we own this town.
Infamous 2 did almost exactly what a sequel needs to do. The story is more involving, the characters are a lot more three-dimensional, the combat was improved, and there are many more new powers at your disposal. It just missed out on a few things, including a story that isn't as good as it could have been, that could feel rushed at times, and the lack of boss fights was a bit of a letdown, considering how great they were in the original. But overall, Infamous 2 was one of the most enjoyable games of the first half of the year for me.
Get down!
Resistance 3 offers a short yet fun campaign, concluding the main saga, and a multiplayer that can offer exciting moments but unfortunately falls short compared to bigger titles. It's the type of sequel that doesn't up the ante and go for a bigger, better approach, like the game before it did, but is a well thought out, polished and tight game that focuses more on the tension and emotion in the story. It has a clumsy second act that feels out of place, but as an overall package is a tight and polished experience.
Marcus, if you get this message, I need your help. And I really am.
It's your father.
If he's still alive, I've got to find him.
Gears of War 3 didn't reinvent anything for the gaming industry or the third-person genre, nor did the developers go for a completely new approach to the series. Instead, the third installment improves on every aspect that made the previous games great, focusing on polish, immersion, and emotion, proudly and successfully presenting a satisfying and action-packed conclusion to a great series. The combat is fun, the multiplayer is robust, and it's absolutely packed with content.
I feel I should thank you. Capturing Bruce Wayne is so much easier than Batman. And now that we have you, Protocol 10 is ready to begin.
The story is very interesting in Arkham City and feels like a game story should, with a continual climb. It's exactly what someone like me would want in a sequel. Arkham City offers a much bigger environment that is fun to play around in. The combat is improved and is more rewarding and satisfying. There are many more cool gadgets and the game is full of side missions that are as fun as the main story missions. Playing for the story itself is fine, but delving into the atmosphere and immersion is what really makes this game more than worthwhile.
This is a 1,000,000 to 1 shot. When I almost lost you before,
You're not gonna.
I just can't do that again. So take that Jeep over there and get the hell out of here, all right? While you can.
You haven't got much time.
While, like I said in my review, there were a few nitpicky complaints I had with the somewhat convoluted story and, at times, frustrating combat, it's hard finding flaws that impact Uncharted 3 greatly. Any complaints I had with the game are easily forgiven because of what the game tackles and how greatly it presents it. Uncharted 3 didn't really improve on the formula introduced in previous games, but it definitely uses it to its advantage, creating a very enjoyable and beautiful game. The Game of the Year award to a lot of critics means the best overall game of that year. And while it's very debatable as to which the best game of that year is, it's more of an opinion. To me, the Game of the Year award goes to the game that I enjoyed the most, with the best polished and quality content. And to a lot of other people, the Game of the Year award may mean something entirely different. So, the award of my favourite and most enjoyed game of 2011 goes to Gears of War 3. While there are many other great original games and sequels this year, Gears of War 3 gives us a satisfying and action-packed conclusion to a great series, improving on almost everything from smooth technical and rich artistic graphics, to story and action pacing, to level variety, to climax and overall story, while at the same time offering hours upon hours of additional, polished and quality content, which gives this game an immense value. The Horde and multiplayer modes are well refined, and the additional Beast mode, along with the option to play any mode with friends cooperatively, just adds more variety and replay value to the overall game. The campaign has great direction and offers some heavy, fun and even strategic action, complemented with a larger focus on emotion and characters, giving a lot of closure to the story. A highly rewarding and immersive experience, Gears of War 3 is not only one of this year's best sequels, but is easily one of the better, more polished and satisfying shooters of this generation, and I'm very happy to present it as my Game of the Year for 2011.